Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me the time of your day. I just want to explain a couple of things that has been happening. As you can see from the title there, it says missing 2 weeks. I'm gonna get right to the point because I know time is precious and all that stuff. Essentially, I want to talk about the missing 2 weeks that Uncensored Nerds wasn't uploading some content. Essentially, it was only been about a week and a half or so. It's just that it wasn't as progressively as it was before, right? The reason being is that, as you guys can tell, the studio, my office here, I renovated my office to make it a little bit more professional. It looks a lot more better. It looks a lot better. There's a whole bunch of lighting in here now too, as well. But I have been keeping you guys updated on what's going on the renovation of my office here. So that's one. That's reason number one. And then during that time too, as well, was New York Comic Con, and during that time, there was no artists or anyone that will be doing a guesting to do any podcasts with me during that time. So so essentially, I took that time during that time, and I took that time and actually just renovated my studio because I mean this is only a one man operation. It's just me, just behind this desk and behind this microphone. I don't have like a Joe Rogan type of people. Like I don't have like a whole like warehouse of people and all that stuff, right? And I don't have higher reads and all that. Um, so I took the time to actually do some renovations here. I bought more equipment too as well because of sponsors that I've been getting to as well, and people like yourself who's purchasing from my store. By the way, just to segue a little bit. I know that I have my Patreon in there. This will be a good time to just let you guys know. This whole podcast is all for you guys and is fueled by you guys. That's the reason why this podcast is still here. So if you guys have a little bit of time, please take a gander at my Patreon there. Go to uncensorednerds.com or go to patreon.com/uncensored uncensored nerds, and yeah, take a look at the Patreon tiers I have there, or it's the link is in the description too as well. And yeah, if you guys can consider to actually join my Patreon, that would be great. But that's not the only way that you guys can actually contribute to Uncensored Nerds and all these guests coming in. Another way that you guys can contribute and support is basically going to my store. Not a lot of you guys, a good portion of you guys know that I sell online comic books too as well. I'm a collector itself. I'm a collector at heart, and I do have an online store. All you have to do is go to dripshoplive.com and sorry, dripshop.live and /, tmac01, and you will see all my items there, and they're all key issues. Right, that's another way for you guys to actually contribute to the podcast too as well. And again, once again, the link is below in there. You guys can take a look. I'll be adding some more books there too as well. A lot more key issue books. And I do have to give a forewarning. It is all a majority of my stuff in there are all key issues or number ones. So um I'm just letting you know. And CGCs too as well. So but yeah, that's another way that you guys can contribute. So if you guys have time, go to dripshop.live / tmac01, and then go to my Patreon, patreon.com / uncensored. It'll be greatly appreciated if you guys definitely contribute there too as well. You don't have to, obviously. I'm not forcing you, but yeah, just take a gander, look around on my store there too as well. All those links are all on uncensorednerds.com. So all the links that I just mentioned is all down there. So yes, I took that time to actually renovate my studio and all that stuff and make everything look a lot nicer. As you guys can tell, things are looking up. I kept a little bit of the old background that I had because I wanted to keep a little bit more of an essence of the old show. So the old background is back there, and then I had the neon lights come in. It says uncensored there, and it's a lot brighter now here too as well. And obviously, one of the newer items in here is this camera that I'm looking at right now. This is the Sony SV1 Mark II, and it's all in HD. It's actually broadcasting in 1080p, or if your computer can, 4K too as well. So now you can actually see my complexion. I'm not as light as you thought I was. um, and also, I just want to let you guys know during that time too as well, I started contemplating on the shows that's going to be running here on Uncensored Nerds, and I added I believe I added one more show in there, and then reconstructed one other show that you guys some of you guys might have been familiar with, and that is random nerdy shit. It's not going to be called random nerdy shit anymore. It's going to be called this now. It's going to be called Random Nerdy Podcasts, and it's going to be starting up too as well. So that's going to be a remodeling of the new show. And obviously, we got issues will also be there too as well. I have about seven artists and writers already lined up this coming winter, and you guys are gonna love it. And you guys already know some of them already. Ram V would be one of them, so that's going to be a really great one too as well. Ram V is going to be stopping by. They're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about distillery, his new ventures in there too as well, just the same way as Miss Joelle Jones did. So there's going to be a lot of that too as well. And then Collector's Haven will be coming back to as well, just like this one right here. Collector's Haven will be coming back to as well, and this is going to be a little bit more different of the collector's haven. Obviously, I'm still going to be talking about the controversies happening in the comic book community, comic book ecosystem in there. It is going to be about it is going to be controversy news and all other things too as well. So definitely definitely going to be a little bit more of the news and controversies and rumors and all that stuff. So I'm going to be cranking up that too as well. So there's going to be that. And then obviously you guys have seen this already. I did the pilot episode for Better Nerds, and timing just wasn't there. And New York Comic Con came after, and the renovation came after. So I've only done one episode in there, but I have 3 episodes already lined up, and that's going to be starting. I'm going to be starting recording that next week. Well, technically, depending on when you watch this video, it's probably already been recorded, but I'm going to be recording that pretty soon too as well. This one is specifically oops sorry this one's going to be specifically sponsored by Better Nerds. I'm sorry, Better Help. Again, I just want to segue a little bit. Better Help is one of the best ways to actually, and I know a lot, and I know it can be definitely deafening when people say take care of your mental health and all that stuff in there. But as an aging millennial, we were taught by our parents, the boomers, to conceal everything, just bottle it down and just move on with your life. But now is not the time for that. With the way that society is going on right now, it is okay to talk to somebody about what's going on in there, right? You don't necessarily have to talk to your relatives, your significant others. Just talk to somebody, and BetterHelp is one of the best ways to actually go about doing that. So they have professionals in there. If there's one professional that you are not comfortable with, you can always switch anytime you want, and you can always log on and talk to somebody there at any given time on your phone and your laptop, anywhere. So yeah, go ahead and give them a visit. It's called betterhelp.com/uncensored. And your first month session will be 10% off. So, again, just you don't have to talk to somebody consistently, but if there is something that you want to talk about to someone, just give BetterHelp a try. Just talk to someone. Just talk, right? Once again, that's betterhelp.com/uncensored, and your first month session will be 10% off. So that's going to be a new show in there. I have 3 shows already lined up for that for Better Nerds. It's one of the shows that's when I did the pilot, a lot of people really loved the pilot episodes, and they were looking forward to see more of that too as well. So that's going to be another show there. So I got 4 shows that I got lined up for you guys already, and then we are going to I will have another show, a review show that will be kind of like a special show. It's gonna be a specialty show. That's gonna be a 5th show there. It's gonna be a specialty show. It's not gonna be an occurring weekly basis, kind of like the ones that I just mentioned. Those ones are gonna be on a weekly basis. So you're always gonna have at least 3 shows on Uncensored Nerds on Spotify. So you're never gonna get bored in there, and you can always find something in there, especially random nerdy podcasts. I believe everyone's gonna love that. If you haven't heard random nerdy podcasts, all of our last episodes are all uploaded there on Spotify already too as well. And again, link is down below. We're gonna have a 5th show too as well. We don't have a title yet definitively, but we're working with something called what if Elseworlds. So we're looking at something called What If Elseworld. It kind of sprung up during a review show of Ahsoka Tano and Star Wars rewatch, and we start and my co-host Nate, and we always have this theory on what could Star Wars have been. And we always work out on theories, and then we're just like, what, we should definitely, on one of the episodes we said, what, we should definitely do like a what if, and what would happen if this and this and that. And one of the discussion that we had was, what if Luke Skywalker saved Darth Vader, right at the end of Return of the Jedi, when Darth Vader was kind of dying. He didn't listen to Darth Vader, but he actually saved him. He took him with him instead of leaving him in the Death Star. um what would have been happening, right? And then we just went on a tangent on it, and it was just like, we should definitely do a show that's just called What If, right? But we don't want to be sued by Marvel. So we're titling it What If Elseworld, right? And if you guys are as much of a nerd as we are, you guys know what that means. What If Elseworld? Elseworld is basically DC Comics version of What If, but Elseworld actually came out first before What If. Sorry, What If came out first before Elseworld. Elseworld was like really big in the 90s, and then really big in mid 2000s. One of the most famous Elseworld story is Kingdom Come, obviously, and then there's a whole bunch of them for DC Comics. So we're gonna call it What If Elseworlds. So we're gonna be doing that show too as well. So a lot of exciting stuff that's gonna be happening in Uncensored Nerds. You guys will never be bored. My main focus for this podcast channel, Uncensored Nerds on Spotify, is that you know, I don't want it to be the conventional podcast that you guys see all the time. Most podcasts is one channel, one topic, and that's about it, right? It can get pretty stale for the most part, right? Where with Uncensored Nerds, it's a little bit more different because it's one channel and various shows, right? So you have a show it's about random nerdy podcasts where we talk about every single thing that's from pop culture, MCU, movies, TVs, and all that stuff in there. It's pretty great. A lot of people really love the random nerdy shit, and we're bringing it back as random nerdy podcasts. Obviously, we have our anchor show. We got issues where I interview a lot of artists and writers, high profile artists and writers too as well. As the show has been growing, and I want to thank everybody who have been sharing the shows, letting people know. Word of mouth is definitely a big thing. We are currently in 8 countries right now, which is fucking amazing. I never thought I would be in 8 countries. People listening to my shows, and listeners are growing by the day. So again, thank you for everybody who has been sharing and letting their friends know about We Got Issues. And if you haven't yet, and I know for a fact, I've seen the analytics. There's a good portions of you that are watching and listening on Spotify for We Got Issues, but are not subscribed to our show. And that's quite all right. But if you have time, definitely consider subscribing. You can unsubscribe anytime you want, but yeah, definitely consider subscribing because essentially it drops all new episodes drop there first, and then and then you don't want to miss out on any of the shows in there, any of the shows in there too as well. It always drops at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so it's just on time for your commute to work or your first break from work, depending where you are in the country, right? uh, and then Collector's Haven has been always been popular because that's something that I don't really hold anything back on what I think about the comic book community in there, right? A lot of people tend to find it kind of um weirdly hateful or something like that. Like it's not really hateful when it's just the truth. I'm just telling you guys the truth of it all, right? So I know there's a lot of things happening in the comic book community right now, especially with the whole Epic Nation stealing books. So, but that's going to have a little bit more of the news side too as well, and rumors on the comic book industry, MCU, TV shows, movies, and all that stuff. And then Better Nerds, also, it's a little bit more calmer in there. Better Nerds is something definitely a lot of people liked. It's gonna be more. There's gonna be more of that too as well. I open up a little bit more myself on that show, and we have a lot of people that tend to open up a little bit too as well. It's a very nice calming show too as well. So we'll have Better Nerds there. So a lot of things are happening, you guys. So that missing week or 2 weeks was just me planning everything. It's not that I went on vacation. I didn't really go on vacation. I did a lot of stuff. So definitely look forward to shows on Uncensored Nerds. If you guys can, go ahead on my website too as well, uncensorednerds.com, and you will see that there's also a newsletter there that you can sign up to. You can sign up to that anytime you would like. That's not a problem. Um, I will definitely, this will be one of the first ones dropping on the newsletter pretty soon. So, but yeah, so if you guys want, you can sign up to that newsletter too as well. And again, thank you for everybody who has been supporting, has been listening, watching the podcast. I cannot thank you guys enough. I don't know where I would be without you guys. Again, to my sponsors, Get a Guard Comics, BetterHelp, Beyond the Cape podcast, um, unbeknownst to you guys too as well. There is another sponsor that I have there too as well, which is G Fuel. G Fuel is there too as well. These guys have been with me through and through, and there are two more potential sponsors that might be jumping into as well. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the podcast, guys, and making this one of the best comic book based podcasts out there today. So again, if you guys have time, definitely check out my Patreon there too as well, patreon.com/uncensored nerds, and then my store there where all I have a bunch of key issues, CGCs, and number ones. That's dripshop.live/tmac01. All the links that I've mentioned is all underneath there too as well. Again, thank you so much for sticking around, guys. I know this took a little bit about 20 minutes, but again, thank you for sticking around, guys. I cannot wait to present you guys what I have developed for the winter season, and I will see you guys next time.